Yeah, never in doubt. When they backed off with about 8 seconds to go, I said, I think we got it now. This was a tough game and a hard-fought game, and I knew, our coaches knew, I'm not sure our players knew, when we hit the first 2 baskets in the second half and we're up 16, they take a timeout, and then I think eventually we got up as much as 18, that they weren't going to go away. I've watched enough, and our kids have watched enough. We saw what they did to Vegas. We saw the way they took a close game and created huge separation against New Mexico. This is a team that competes just like we do. And when they make threes like they did in the second half, they're going to get back in a hurry. So I'm appreciative and proud of our guys. I know how Jim feels. He's done a magnificent job with his team this year and with the way he has grown the program. And they're lucky to have him here, and he's shown what he can do given resources and time.
This game was kind of indicative of the way the Mountain West has gone this year. Really tight, really good teams, kind of deep. Would you agree the way this game was played?
I'm the only guy that's been here 13 years of the existence. And from 1 through 8, this is by far the best we've had. We go and lose at Air Force. We barely hang on to beat Boise at home. This is a league, if you don't play well, you're not going to win. And if you do play well, it doesn't guarantee you're going to win, whether you're home or whether you're on the road. And I think that the quality of this league is now being recognized, not just within the league, but nationally. And I've talked about TCU from the start of the season, when I said, when everybody's talking about San Diego State, Vegas, and New Mexico, and I said, TCU is the only team to have beat Virginia. That tells me that they're good. And you can go right on down through the league. So yes, I would say this is a league that has great respect and got a chance to get 3 or 4 teams in the NCAA tournament.
But, you know, in the second half, obviously they started getting some threes and made a little bit of run there, but it almost looked like you guys are two-point playing not to lose. I mean, you started running the shot clock down and work games getting quality looks. What do you think happened to these guys?
Well, I don't know that I would agree with that piece to it. I thought sometimes we shot it too quickly. We were making a lot of shots in the first half. And when we got that 18-point lead, we had 6 or 7 or 8 straight, I mean, wide open, good looks from Rayhan to Tapley. In particular, Rayhan and Tapley, and they didn't go in, and they came down and scored. So I don't think, and we had a couple of turnovers that led to some baskets, but I don't think that we got tentative during that stretch. I don't think. Now maybe I'll change my mind when I look at the film. You know, at times we wanted to run a little clock. At times we wanted to not settle for shooting even an open early shot because of the flow of the game. But I thought when we needed something, we found a way to take it to the rim, and Jamal willed himself into getting some balls, and it was great. It was a fitting climax for his regular season career that Tim Shelton would get the 3-point play, the and one, when it really looked like we weren't going to win. When it looked like they were going to storm from behind and not be able to allow us to win. And he gets a basket and a foul. And very proud of how he's competed and the way he's led this team by example as well as by his actions.
Steve, I know it took a lot of team guys, but Jamal, like, just the run he's been on, just as well as he's been playing recently.
He's a competitor, as good a competitor as I've had the privilege to coach. And he's slowly but steadily blending in to what we need him to do, not trying to do everything every possession. And he wants to do everything every possession at times. He wants to rebound, he wants to take it out and throw it to himself. and at times he gets carried away with it, but there's no better competitor in the United States than Jamal Franklin. He backs it up with results too. He's a magnificent pressure free throw shooter, and I know he's mad that he missed a couple of free throws down the stretch for us, but he has been fantastic.
as you said, there were times it looked like they might charge back. But what does it do for a team like yours to hold it together, to be able to pull it out, especially this time of the year, going into March, when we're into March, and everything counts now for sure.
This group, many of them were part of last year's 34-3 team. Went to a Sweet 16, have a ring to prove it. They wanted their ring with their leadership, with their primetime performance to a man, and that included Chase and James Rayhan, who were the guys that played the most for us last year. But all of them, I mean, they were excited and proud, and they know that we're going to have a banner that we talked about. 10 years from now, you're going to come back and you can say that's me. I'm a piece of it. So, and it'll help us obviously going into conference tournament play too.
What does it say about your team when both Jamal and Tim talked about that last play in regulation that you were trying to run side three to Chase, and they got overplayed, it didn't get entered that way, you got to go the other way, and shooting an air ball, and yet somebody just makes a play. I mean, you draw up everything, but at the end of the day, Tim just makes a play.
You have to have people who can do that, because most of the time, teams are not going to let you get your first option of what you want. So you have to find a way to make a play, whether it's setting a high ball screen and attacking off that with Xavier, whether it's what Tim did, saying, "Where's the ball? I got to go get it." And it fell into my hand, and now I got the chance to put it into overtime. I think that happens all over the place. It's nice when it happens to you, and I think it's fitting when it happens to a guy like Tim Sheldon.
You were down to 6 scholarship players